A good day. My name is Georgios Altintzis, and I'm with the International Trade Union Confederation. First of all, I would like to commend the work that UNCTAD is doing on the reform of IIAs, and especially proposals aiming at introducing transparency and eliminating frivolous cases. Many of these suggestions have been picked up by different countries, showing that the work that UNCTAD is doing is quite relevant in the investment work. I'd like to note here India's new model IIA, and especially Article 1411, that includes the possibility of the state initiating counterclaims if the investor has breached national laws, and this provides some sort of defense for states. However, we would like to see UNCTAD to recognize that the ISDS is unbalanced by its own nature. What is the basis for discriminating access to justice and granting it only to one type of individuals, the foreign investors? What is the basis for putting property rights above other human rights like the right to water, a clean environment, and labor rights? The questions are, of course, rhetorical. And of course, you know that it is not only property rights protection that is pursued with ISDS, but the whole lot of investors' greed enabled by conflicting interpretations of the fair and equitable treatment that the tribunals give. For UNCTAD, there's value in stepping up the work they're doing in investment facilitation, and to this end, we commend the release of the action menu for investment facilitation and its usual proposals. One concern for the action menu is action line number 5, calling for a loose form of stakeholders' input to regulation, and we believe that since that establishes a form of cooperation between business and governments in regulation making, and we've seen that coming up in many trade agreements recently, careful examinations needs to be paid before UNCTAD endorses this type of proposals. The problems with the ISDS, though, persist, and that's because the ISDS is quite imbalanced in its own nature, as I already mentioned. Human rights, labor rights, and environment are often not mentioned in IIAs, and if they are, they appear to in a preamble. Investors' responsibilities are also lacking in IIAs, and when they exist, they are by no means enforceable. We have to put this in context, however. When investors get direct access to tribunals, other sorts of commercial disputes get some state-to-state dispute settlement. Labor and environment, at best, take some committees that they discuss issues, and the results of which are by no means enforceable. I have to recognize here that the Trans-Pacific Partnership Agreement has included some sort of enforcement for labor standards. However, experience shows that such mechanisms are incapable to address the huge deficits of decent work that we are facing worldwide. Inclusion of investors' responsibilities is going to be a welcome step. However, such responsibilities need to be enforceable. And again, the investors' responsibilities are by no means a panacea. That is simply because investment in the current IIAs is defined in a very wide and broad way, which includes, for example, derivatives, bonds that have been bought by government bonds, that have been bought by investors, intellectual property rights, titles and licenses, and all sorts of financial products, where understanding what is the investor's responsibilities in this context becomes blurred, difficult, and non-attributable. Therefore, the definition of protected investment needs to be narrowed down and include the direct creation of jobs. Also, the definition of fair and equitable treatment provided in IIAs and the conflicting interpretation that this term has received from different tribunals is also causing a big problem, and it needs to be withdrawn. As I explained in the beginning, ISDS establishes an equal access to justice, and therefore ITUC, the International Trade Union Confederation, has called governments to cancel all the IIAs that establish ISDS, and we also propose that governments should take a look to Brazil's approach on promoting facilitation with amicable state-to-state dispute settlement. Thank you.